Hey you guys. Boy, sorry it's taken so long for me to get back to you on these little journal covers that you may or may not have purchased a kit for. Well, I don't know if it's a kit. I mean, I think if you call something a kit, it should technically have everything you need to make that item in it, and those kits don't necessarily have everything, but they do have the basics. So anyway, um, and if you did not get one, if you send me a quick email, I'm still doing. I can still do a few more of those kits if you'd like one. They're $25, and you just have to send me an email, and I'll send you an invoice through PayPal. So, and if you are one of the people that bought one of those, fear not. I am currently getting them together. I've had a lot of distractions the last few days. I got a new cat, and he is super cool, and I just love him. And as my here, let me just show you. Let me show you a picture of him. He's super cute. So if any of you guys remember, I had a little black cat that I had got for Sebastian, and she just turned out to not really fit with our household. And she's extremely fearful. So anyway, I had her for about a year and a half, and I just decided that I couldn't stand, living with a cat that thought that I wanted to kill her all the time, Anyway, so I wound up taking her back to the shelter that I got her from, and they're going to put her into the it's a non-kill shelter, so they definitely will not, euthanize her or anything like that. And they're considering putting her in the barn cat program. They adopt cats out to people that, need cats to live on their farms. So anyway, and I think she may be a good fit for that, since she is very distrusting of humans. Anyway, so this is my new boy. I don't know. It's kind of hard to see, but he's super cute. He looks like, and they gave me, there's a good picture of him. He looks kind of like a lynx to me. Anyway, see, there he is. He's super cute. So he's 6 years old, and I really don't know anything about his history, but he's super sweet, as you can see. I mean, like the polar opposite of Judith. So anyway, so I've been kind of playing around with him and trying to get him settled and get the other cats into the idea that there's a new family member. And finally today, they're kind of like, all right, I guess, Anyway, so I've topped out as 3 cats. That's it. But since I am the crazy cat lady, apparently, I've kind of morphed into the crazy cat lady. I just wanted to show you guys real quick. Considering a new sort of venture on my Etsy shop, and yeah, so I've been trying to work out some little kind of like prototypes for some little crocheted felted kitties. And so this is what I would call kind of a primitive, I guess, sort of a primitive crocheted cat, and very simple to make, and felted, and they're just really fun because I can use all my different scraps of yarn, and all kinds of different colors and that kind of thing, and just super easy. This guy is a little bit different because his eyes are felted, It doesn't have the plastic eyes like these do. And it's not perfect, you know, it looks kind of funky, but anyway, and this is a different type of yarn. It's more fuzzy. But yeah, so I did little felted eyes on this one. And then I did this guy. He's kind of gigantic. Yeah, you can see his face. Anyway, so he's my little rainbow kitty. A little bit bigger, obviously, and it's the same yarn as this. It's real fuzzy. This one is felted, but not felted a ton. Anyway, so this is one that I did that I haven't stuffed and done the face on yet. So just with a little granny square, you know. Anyway, so I've just been really kind of excited about trying to do these and seeing if it's something that I want to start maybe offering through Etsy. I did come up with a little bunny pattern. So this is one of the bunnies. I haven't stuffed or done the face on it yet, but there's the ears, you know, so they'll be nice and floppy. And they're super soft too. You know, you wouldn't think that wool would be necessarily that soft, but it is, especially once it's felted. It's really soft. And actually I gave one to well, I sent some to Carla, and she said that her grandkids really like them and stuff. So, and then, but my granddaughter Frances loves her little kitty that I gave her. I gave her a little kitty like this, and she really likes it. So, and then I thought it would be fun to do a little bear. So I did one where I made the tummy kind of fat. You know, this one has not been felted yet. But anyways, I just wanted to show you. And then he's going to have little round ears. And then I'll do a little bear face on there. So just kind of primitive, very simple, little crocheted felted animals. And I don't know, it's just something I started doing, crocheting like amigurumi, and I don't know, it's just something I love to do. So anyway, any feedback would be appreciated. You know, I'm totally into hearing what you guys think about, you know, a shop on Etsy offering two different types of you know, products. I know Rachel, Roxy Creations, she still does like all of her sewing stuff and things like that on her Etsy shop, and then she has her digitals and that kind of thing. I just think it might be easier for me and more beneficial to me if I did that on the same shop, so that, you know, because I already have a kind of a decent sized customer base there. So anyway, just wanted to show you what I've been up to. So then I was working on these guys, and I don't know, I started getting kind of frustrated with them, and I wasn't really liking the way they were coming along. You know, the fact that they're, so I just don't want, I feel like if I glue this down onto something else, I'm sort of wasting all of this yummy writing and stuff that's on here. You know, I don't want to do that. So I'm trying to stiffen them up a little bit without just adding a bunch of coating on it. You know, I mean, I did spray them with a clear coat, and I left a link in one of the previous videos, sort of in this series, to the clear spray that I've been using. It's a Krylon spray. Anyway, it does add some body and kind of stiffens the paper up a little bit. But I'm using different types of ledger pages on these, and some are thicker than others. So I thought, you know, if I fold the edges, that would maybe add some, you know, body to the cover. So, oh my God, I feel like I'm talking a mile a minute. The other journals that I just had, like about, I don't know, about 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago now, that were done kind of like this. I had folded it kind of into an envelope shape. Okay, so like this, and that really helped to make them stronger. But I didn't want to do that envelope shape again, and I just wanted it to be like a regular, you know, just open kind of journal. And I wanted to do them smaller. Anyway, so I've decided, for me, I'm probably not going to go with this design, just because I just feel like it's kind of too thin, too floppy. I don't know, not sturdy enough. Anyway, so, and then also I I decided that I really wanted to try to use more of my little like notebook pages and more book pages and stuff like that on the covers. And I also wanted to incorporate some of these calendar pages on the covers, and I wanted each one to have at least one of these little calendar pages. And so since I'm still maintaining the writing on the inside of the cover, I didn't feel bad about covering up more of the outside of it. I mean, you can still see a lot of it coming through. See, if you look at the inside and then look for it on the outside, you can still see it there. It's there. And I've done the walnut crystals and stuff like that. Someone asked me if I've ever used instant coffee to do this, and I have, but it just doesn't turn out as rich of a color, and it doesn't really react with the water the same. Like it gets liquidy too quickly. And the walnut crystals they sit in place, and they sort of permeate the paper a little bit more, I think, than instant coffee. Anyway, so then with as far as the shape of the journals, I had already cut all of these pages to 10 by 10 inches. And I'm not sure exactly how I came to this, but I decided to cut them just a little bit shorter. So I didn't want them to be, that long. And in order to make them this height, I would need to cut off like 1.5 inches or something. And cutting off 1.5 inches left me with pieces that really, I couldn't really think of anything to use them for. You know what I mean? I mean, I could just tuck them into a page or something, but I thought I'd rather have something a little bit larger. If I'm going to cut that piece off, I want to be able to, I want it to be more useful anyway, rather than just being a scrap. Okay, so I wound up doing these to 7 inches, and then I just folded them in half, but I still have the same issue with the thickness. So I thought, well, how could I add something on the inside? And I just think a lot of people say they like to hear my thought processes. So this is kind of why I'm, giving you all these funny little details. But I didn't want to cover up all this writing. And so what's the easiest way to do that is to cover it, to give it more strength and keep the writing, would be to cover it with something that's transparent, like plastic, right? And I didn't want to glue paper over the inside again, because I still want you to be able to feel the texture and that kind of stuff. So anyway, what I decided to do, I have one of those EcoTank printers, an Epson EcoTank printer. I bought one about a year ago, and I was very resistant to the idea of getting one, but I tell you, I just love it. And I got the EcoTanks, the 7700 Expression model. So it has the photo black also. It has the regular black plus the photo black. And I just love it. Like, I love it. And I had never tried printing on overhead transparency film in that printer. I had tried it in my other Epson printer. I've got a Workforce 7720, I think. And it hated printing on transparency. So I had a package of it, and I thought, well, I'm going to try it in the eco tank, and it worked perfect. I did get at one point, some of the pages stuck together from the tray, and I had kind of a mess. And but then if I babysat it and just kind of watched it and make sure that it only was pulling one page at a time, then it did fine. And anyway, I only had one mishap, but it worked fine. And I will leave a link in the description to the transparency film that I used in my EcoTank printer. It's on Amazon, so if you'd like to try it. I will say, if you do it, you do have to kind of keep an eye on it, because sometimes there's like static in between the pages in the tray. So I always try to put a little bit of just regular paper in the tray, and then I add like 5 sheets of the transparency film, so that it gives it a little bit of height, because I think it's easier for the printer to grab paper or plastic off of the top of the stack if you've got a little bit more paper in the tray. I wouldn't just say, just tell the printer to print off 20 pages on transparency. I would set it to print, maybe 2 or 3 at a time, so that if you're going to have trouble, you can catch it. Just my advice. Anyway, so I thought, okay, these would be perfect to use as a pocket on the inside of the little journal cover. And so then it was, okay, how do I attach this? So I thought, well, to add a little bit more stability to the cover, I'm just gonna fold in the edge of this page a little bit. And this is what I decided to do. I actually kind of messed up some of the other covers that I made, and I glued this down. So I'm gonna have to figure out something else to do with those, like another way to add the pockets. Oh, I started completely rearranging my whole studio. So that was another thing that kind of got me sidetracked. And why I haven't been here for, feels like about a month again. Anyway, so I'm folding these down. I'm trying to make sure that I get them to the same size, and it's going to crack just a little bit, but that's okay. The other thing I did was I decided not to use the stickers or any like floral prints or flower pages and stuff like that. I decided to go with more kind of a grungy, masculine sort of vintage grunge kind of look on these covers. So anyway, so I folded that down, but I'm not going to glue it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my transparency, and I'm actually going to glue this little flap to the transparency. It's kind of tricky and kind of fiddly, but I think this is going to be, you'll see. You'll see. It works really good. So, and obviously you can glue to the plastic. So I don't want the, I want to make sure that I don't add glue to this top part here, because that part's going to get cut off. Anyway, you just want to add some glue just to the very top of where your transparency is, and then fold it over. And this is art glitter glue in here, so it actually grabs pretty quick. I mean, you gotta hold it down for a second, but it grabs that transparency pretty quickly. Okay, so then I'm just gonna trim off this little piece here. So I've got that fixed up pretty good. So let's do the other side. Let me find another image for the other side. Let's do this one. So this is where I'm saving my kind of like butterflies and flowers and stuff for, is for the inside. Okay, so I'm going to lay this down. And a lot of these images, I trimmed them to different sizes, so they're not all the same size, which is why I have to kind of lay it down to measure. I can't just, you know, cut an inch off of each one of these little flaps. I have to hold the transparency in place. And then do the trimming. So it is a little bit fiddly, like I said, but there we go. Okay. So I'm not going to pull the sewing machine up here and, you know, and hassle with doing that, because I'm afraid I'll have some kind of horrible meltdown on the sewing machine, because I actually did earlier. But let me just show you, I did another one earlier, and this is how I did the stitching. So before you attach this bottom part here, first I have to let this glue dry, which is another reason I'm not going to stitch it on camera. I ran a stitch of zigzag right along that little flap right there. Okay, just to be sure that, you know, it stays and it doesn't ever come off. And also I just like the look of it. So see, there's just a little, and I use red thread in the machine. Kind of goes with the red, you know. Anyway, so I stitched that on. So that means that my pocket goes all the way to the edge. See, I didn't want to glue it down there because then it would be kind of weird, you know. Anyway, so the pocket goes all the way to the edge of the cover, and this is adding some strength to the cover. Like, I feel like it's more substantial now. Anyway, so then while that's open, okay, so I've run a zigzag stitch down these edges. Then I went in the sewing machine, and this is when I had the meltdown earlier. And then I just, well, first I rounded these corners, and I'm just going to do it with scissors. I like to round these corners off. And then I just did a straight stitch all the way around the border. So not onto this little flap, but you have to have it open while you're doing it. You know what I mean? Because if you do it when this is, you know, with that inside, you're going to wind up stitching this down, and you don't want to do that. So keep that open. Run your stitch all along this edge. Okay, so I did that, you know, just around this edge, and then open it up, fold these in, and run a stitch here to hold the pocket down. And then you're going to want to turn it over and run your stitch like that. So the reason that I'm saying that is because if you start stitching from this edge on the sewing machine, you start stitching from this edge and go toward this part here where there's no way for it to give at all, you wind up wrinkling this plastic, and it's yucky. Just trust me. Always work from the folded part towards the open edge. So on this side, you can start, you can be looking at this side when you do it. So you would stitch from here to here. But for doing this side, you're going to have to turn it over and stitch from there to there. I tried just going like straight across and doing like one stitch, but it didn't really work. You could just staple this too. Like, you don't necessarily have to do it on the sewing machine. You could staple it, or you could do like a piece of, I was thinking, like, if you don't have a sewing machine and you don't want to do a sewing machine deal, use a piece of fabric washi tape across that bottom, and just fold it around to the back. That would look kind of cool too, or just regular washi tape, something like that, or a little piece of fabric and just glue it. You could totally just do that. And then you wouldn't have to worry about it. Anyway, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to show you what I'm doing with these because I said I would, and that's what I'm doing. Anyway, and then I'll probably nip these corners off right here too. Since I was going through drawers and finding all kinds of things that I forgot I even owned, I came across a whole stack of, my kids used to collect cards. Well, when they lived, they still collect cards. They're into Magic cards, Magic the Gathering. But I have boxes of these. These are for cards, Anyway, so since I have so many of them that nobody else is going to use, I thought these would be kind of fun to use in these journals. So I am going to actually do some of these inside the journal. I was going to maybe just use these as the pockets on the inside of the covers, And that was actually my first thought with this, but oh wait, so I'm going to cut that off. I just wanted to show you guys how I plan on using these, because I might actually slip one of these into each of those kits. And I'm sorry if, you guys, you thought I was going to do those kits really fast. I don't do anything really fast anymore. But I will get them out as soon as I can. Anyway, so I cut those edges off so that they're easier to open from the outside. They're open on the inside too, but I think that's okay. I mean, I could run a seam down each of these sides, I guess, but it depends on how much time I want to spend. Anyway, but I just thought these would be kind of cool to use as a page in these journals, like, in the middle of the signature or something. Anyway, but they fit perfect. So with, I'm just cutting off two, and I might do, well, this one kind of got ruined, but I guess I could stitch that up and then it could be a top load. That could still be useful. So anyway, there we are. I've just been feeling bad that I haven't come back and done another video since I did my little rant about the Etsy strike, and I wanted to touch base with you guys and kind of let you know that I've sort of shifted gears on these little mini journals, and just because I like to keep you apprised of the situation. Oh, one thing I did want to show you that I thought turned out really cool was I used one of those some of the number stamps that I got from Bob, and I did it with red embossing powder on the cover there. It looks so cool. And then I did This one down here, the number 7. This is one of the grungy numbers. They look really cool with embossing, you know. And I just like the red and black kind of look, you know. Anyway, oh, and I did want to mention real quickly, half of you guys have probably tuned out already, but I did want to mention something about the number stamps that I showed you guys that they made for me. So I've been kind of talking to him about these and about, you know, pricing and that kind of stuff, because I feel like, you know, so he's selling this set for $50, so $49.99, and I'm pretty sure you get free shipping with that, but I'm not sure 100%. Anyway, so I told him that I thought that, you know, $50 is kind of steep for a set of polymer stamps. You know, like if you look at even some of the higher end polymer stamp sets that you can buy, you know, they're usually not more than maybe $30 or something. But I didn't know what he was gonna, you know, ask for these stamps. And as you guys know, I've purchased a lot of stamps from them, but you know, I've got my original, you know, label stamps with the, you know, the wood handles and stuff, and I love them. They weren't cheap. You know, I'm not trying to say that, you know, that they're cheap at all, but in knowing that, I did talk to Bob about that, because he said that you know, he hadn't sold that many of them, so you know, he wanted to know what my thoughts were. And I thought that, you know, it was probably the pricing. And so, you know, I've been kind of just not really sure how, you know, he can, you know, deal with that. But so the thing is that he doesn't make the stamps. He has a partner that actually has the equipment to do the actual creation of the stamps themselves, the laser like cutting and stuff. So basically what he's doing is he's kind of almost in a way outsourcing to someone else who has the equipment to make the polymer stamps. And so he's paying that person to make these stamps, and then, you know, and then he's making whatever he makes on, you know, the sale and that kind of thing. So I just think that, you know, Bob's kind of in a way, he's kind of a middleman in the production of these stamps. And so I think that that's driving the cost up a little bit. I did talk to him about, you know, what I gave him some suggestions, and I don't know how he's going to, if any of those will, you know, work or not, but I suggested maybe they just make like 50 sets and then see if he could, you know, see if that could reduce the cost or something. But he said that this polymer is like super high quality polymer. It's imported. I don't know where it's imported from. He didn't say, but, you know, I'm just trying to say that that's, you know, part of the reason that the price on this set of stamps is what it is. But he's working on some ways to possibly reduce the cost if it's something that anybody else is interested in, but the pricing has kind of held you back. So he's also thinking about maybe making some smaller sets. I suggested that he maybe do a set where he includes some label stamps with them, because I think that would be kind of neat to do, you know, one of the label stamps that, you know, like that size, and a smaller one, or maybe a bigger one, that those numbers fit inside of, you know, so that you could, not the actual stamp itself, but the image. I think that might be kind of a neat set to have a label and then, you know, the 10 numbers or something like that, so that you can, you know, number things, if whatever. Anyway, maybe one that's a little bigger so you could fit 2 digits in there. You know, like maybe this size stamp label, you know, because that would fit 2 digits inside. Anyway, so he's looking at some fixes and maybe some other options. I don't know. Anyway, but I really appreciate you guys supporting Bob, and I just wanted to kind of give you some information so you sort of understand why his pricing is the way it is. I mean, we all know there's tons and tons of number stamps out there, but I just feel like these are kind of special because they are created from my stencils and from my actual, you know, stamps, my old, you know, antique stamps and that kind of thing that I use in videos. And I just wanted a way to share them without selling my stamps and selling my stencils. So he's been able to recreate those, I think, incredibly well. So anyway, I'm done blabbering about that. I'm gonna try to get these guys done here in the next couple days. I've got some pages pulled for them already and that kind of thing. And then I think I might move on after I get these guys done. I think I'm probably going to wind up doing about 16 of these, probably not 25 or something, but maybe a dozen or so. Get these guys done, and then I have some Reader's Digest covers that I want to do, and I think I'm going to actually do some hidden spines. So we have that to look forward to. Anyway, okay, guys, I love you. Let me know what you think about the crocheting stuff, and I love reading your comments, and I'm always interested to hear what you guys think about whatever it is I'm working on and that kind of stuff. So even if you just want to say hi, I love your comments. And give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not already subscribed. I know I'm supposed to be telling people to give me a like and a subscribe and share this video. Anyway, okay. Bye, you guys. I love you.